Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I have my eye on the time and I see that it is 7:30, which means that we are ready to ask you to lovingly remain on mute as we begin our beautiful teen-led Shabbat honoring our legacy society.
Hine ma tovu mandaim Shevarachim gam yachad Hine ma tovu mandaim Shevarachim gam yachad Hine ma tovu mandaim Shevarachim gam yachad Hine ma tovu manayim Shevarachim gam yachad Hine ma tovu manayim Shevarachim gam yachad Hine ma tovu manayim Shevarachim gam yachad.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hello, Temple Bethel. I'm Lauren and this is Stella. We are both members of TVE's Teen Board Liberty.
Tonight, services will be led by teens like us in honor of legacy donors like you, and almost exactly 1 year into the pandemic.
We lead services at least once each year to show the generation before us that we have the capability to lead and represent what Judaism means to us, and to prove that we are capable of not solely being on our phones.
We honor the people who make a financial commitment to our futures and provide opportunities for the next generation to explore our own Judaism and learn more about our roots. Legacy means making an impact on not just the past, but the future. For me, that looks like recognizing the accomplishments of those who came before me and making sure that I strive to make the lives of others just a little bit better.
When we were thrown into a worldwide pandemic, who would have thought that less than 1 year later, people are getting vaccinated and that we are making it through? I have learned so much to adapt to different and strange circumstances, to continue to be flexible as things change over and over again. So many have lost so much: jobs, freedom, hugs, family members. Yet through all our obstacles, we've made it here, tonight, together as a community.
Tonight, we have the opportunity to celebrate, to honor, and to remember. We begin by lighting candles and making Kiddush, welcoming in Shabbat together.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushani b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon, hinhilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra'e kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Kivanu v'charta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikol V'Shabbat kodecha le'ahava uratzon chinchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Shabbat Shalom. Every week, we welcome Shabbat, our period of rest and reflection, by singing the words of Lecha Dodi. But tonight, as we mark 1 year since Temple Bethel services went online, we have an opportunity to reflect even deeper on the resilience our community has shown this year. Amidst the craziness of normal life pre-COVID, I found myself observing Shabbat only on occasion, sometimes coming to services either at Temple or through BBYO. Beyond that, celebrating Shabbat wasn't a huge part of my weekly routine. However, when everything went online, the predictability and comfort of Shabbat became something I not only looked forward to, but grew to rely on when all the days seemed to blend together. I learned how to bake challah on my own, began lighting the candles every Friday night, and treasured the time I took to reground myself through music and peacefulness, preparing to take on another week. In many ways, this time for reflection helped me get through this past year, and I know many of us in the Temple Bethel community can relate. The Lecha Dodi invites us to rise up and leave our ravaged states, to shake off the dust and forget our sorrows as we enter Shabbat. Now, as we sing these words together, I invite you to reflect on how we as individuals and as a community have risen up throughout this past year. Lecha lecha dodi, likat likat kala, p'nei p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likat likat kala, p'nei p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, yishmi'anu el hameyuchad Adonai echad, u'shema echad. L'shem tiferet v'litecha la 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 lecha dodi, likat likat kala, p'nei p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likat likat kala, p'nei p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat mehuvenalcha, ki hi mikor haberacha merosh mekedam nesucha. Sof ma'aseh b'machshavatecha la 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 lecha dodi, likat likat kala, p'nei p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likat likat kala, p'nei p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, kiva orach kumi uri, shir taberi. Kevod Adonai ala ifni la 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 lecha dodi, likat likat kala, p'nei p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likat likat kala, p'nei p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Bori v'shalom ater bala, gam b'simcha u'tzorona, toch emunei am sebula. Boi chala, la 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 lecha dodi, likat likat kala, p'nei p'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha lecha dodi, likat likat kala, p'nei p'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie.
Shema is a very important prayer in Judaism because it reminds us of the key principle of our faith. There is only one God. The Shema also brings us a sense of communal oneness and togetherness. The Shema addresses us as a community, with God as our protector. Hear, O Israel, it says. When the prayer calls us, it is calling us as Israel, as one community. We, as a team, should love God. This same love should be shown to the other people in our community. Especially during this time of quarantine, we have shown resilience in what it means to be part of a community more than ever. In the last year, we have found new ways to stay connected and remain social. Take services for an example. Friday night and Saturday morning have always been a time for the entire congregation to come together as a community and pray to God. Even though we can't actually go to temple, look at what we are doing right now, on a Zoom doing Friday night services together. 1 year ago, we began our quarantine. We had no idea what it was going to be like and what we were going to be losing. No one was prepared for what was to come. And although this quarantine has brought almost all of us negative things, one thing that I believe we have found from COVID is our sense of community. The Shema invites us to come together as a community and love God, who teaches us to show this love not just to God, but also to each other. As we continue on with our everyday lives, perhaps Shema can remind us to show the same love we would show to God, to everyone around us, as we are all in this kahila. As we begin the Shema, I invite you to think about the power of community, not just today, but at all moments of our life.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'kol levaha u'kol nafshecha u'kol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ela asher anohi v'tzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'divarta bam v'shivtecha v'ritecha U'lechtecha v'derech u'shokbecha u'kumecha u'tavtam le'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot ben einecha u'tavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha leman tizkeru va'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'yitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzetechem me'eretz Mitzrayim v'hiot lachem le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. In the Micha Moha, Moses leads the Israelites out of slavery. They put their entire trust into this one person because they know that God is there helping them. After gathering their items, the Israelites leave Egypt. However, leaving is not as easy as they thought, and the Egyptians try to follow them. They are afraid, but Moses helps them. He parts the sea so that just the Israelites can cross. When they get to the other side, the sea closes once more, and all the Egyptian soldiers drown. When they make it at free land, they rejoice and they celebrate. By being a community, sticking together, and putting their faith in God, they succeeded in gaining their freedom. This is a great example of what it means to be Jewish. Judaism is about coming together when things get tough, so you don't have to go through it alone. It means that we can always lean on each other no matter what struggle you are facing. there are people out there who can be there for you. This is a hard time for me, for my family, and for everyone. Not being able to go anywhere, not being able to see anyone, but I know that God will support me through it all. God is here for me like God was for the Israelites. I know that the light will come, and when it does, we will sing and we will rejoice, because even though it's a struggle right now, I have faith that it will get better, just like how the Israelites overcame their struggle. What I take away from the Micha Moha is that through it all, the Israelites still had the strength to sing and celebrate what they did have, and I admire that. God is there for us always. Sometimes we have to struggle to find out who we are. God put the Israelites through a struggle, but they came out a stronger community. I have faith that we will do the same. We continue with these words our ancestors sang, Micha Moha.
There is so much magnificence in the ocean. The waves are coming in, the waves are coming in. There is so much magnificence in the ocean. The waves are coming in, the waves are coming in. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot o sechele, nora tehilot o sechele. I've been waiting in the velvet sea, whoa. 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 I've been waiting in the
To most people, Hashkivenu may just sound like a Hebrew lullaby, but to me, it gives me the feeling of safety, of community, and of love from my friends, family, and everyone around me. The Jewish community has been one of the main reasons I've been able to be strong through this pandemic. I've made lots of new friends through BBYO and gotten even closer with my friends from Temple. When I'm with them, or even when I'm at camp and we sing Hashkivenu at services, it warms my heart and makes me feel safe. It lets me know that I don't need to worry about anything else other than being in the moment, and life will come as it comes. The prayer itself says that God will shield us from different kinds of evil and shelter us in peace. It gives us the strength to do simple things like just going to sleep and waking up in the morning. It tells us that God provides us with love and necessary means to live through hardships. Although God provides these things for us, we as Jews also perform acts of mitzvot, and we help provide these necessary things for others as well, which has helped us as a community get through the hard times in the last year. I know lots of people had been through hard times and struggles. I have been through times of loneliness and sadness, but I know there's people who have had worse things happen in the last year, and I know that the people in their lives have guided them just as the people in my life have been lights guiding me. This time has given me the opportunity to appreciate what I have, even the little things I didn't think about before. We continue together singing Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu v'shalom, v'hamidenu shomrei, nu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu v'shalom, v'hamidenu shomrei, nu lechaim. Oh, guide my steps, help me find my way. I need your shelter now. So rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Help me make this day a song of praise to you. So rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu v'shalom, V'hamidenu shomrei. Nu lechaim, hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu v'shalom, v'hamidenu shomrei. Nu lechaim.
The words of the Vishamru come directly from the Torah and command us to guard the Sabbath. Shabbat is our weekly act of love and communion to ourselves and the ones around us. Especially during pandemic times, it is essential to take time to check in on your community and the ones you love. But it's also important to check in on yourself. Celebrating Shabbat looks different for everyone. Some people light candles and drink grape juice. Others devote time to family and friends, and some just celebrate by taking a break and relaxing. For me, celebrating Shabbat means taking a few minutes out of my weekend to do something I love. This could look like scrapbooking my favorite memories, going on a run with my dad, or hanging out with my friends. I challenge all of you to take at least 30 minutes out of your weekend to do something you love. I know this may be hard since it is a busy time of year, but I think you will find that taking time to do something you love can make all the difference in making the next week go by just a little bit quicker. We continue with the words of Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat b'drutam b'vitubam. B'nei Uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat b'drutam b'vitubam. Ki sheshet yamin asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat b'drutam b'vitubam. Uvayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat b'drutam b'vitubam.
We continue with the Amidah.
Yalla lie, lie, lie. 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 Adonai, Sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah. Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה.
אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מושיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מחלחל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נפלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסירים, ומקיים ומתיר לשני עפר, מחמך פעלים גבורות, ומידו מלך מתמיד ומקיים ומצמיע ישועה, ונאמן אתה לכבוד הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
One whole year, 365 days, and we are still living and surviving through a pandemic. We think back to those we've lost, to the hard times we've gone through, but we also think about all the silver linings. Through COVID, we have stayed connected as a community. The Giverot invites us to welcome the hard times with strength and sustain life through love. I now invite you to reflect silently with strength and love.
The wound is the place where the light enters you. As we've trudged our way through this past year and continue to brave the unknown future, many of us find ourselves feeling helpless. So much has happened. We've been to doctors or even the ER. We've had COVID scares, and for many of us, even COVID itself, we've lost loved ones. As we move towards a tomorrow filled with the unknown, our questions remain unanswered. When will quarantine end? What will tomorrow bring? How can we know what to do next? In these moments, I try to remind myself that everything heals. Our bodies heal, our hearts heal, our minds, wounds, and souls repair themselves. Nothing is permanent. Our happiness will come back and no bad time lasts forever. One day we'll look back and admire our perseverance even as we grieve what we've lost. As we pray for healing, I wish you a renewal of strength and spirit. Please share the names of those you are thinking of in the chat box so that we can include them in our prayers. We continue with the words of the Mishaberach.
Mishaberach Avotenu Mikol Habracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema. The renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We come together to support each other in times that are difficult, in times of illness and loss, but in our Jewish tradition, we also come together to celebrate. So we are inviting you to share with us in the chat box, if you're on Zoom with us, good things that have happened to you in your life since last Shabbat or since you were last with us for Shabbat. We come together to pray for healing, but we also come together for Thanksgiving. We invite you to add those things, and then we sing together Asher Chayanu, thanking God for enabling us to reach this season and these good things.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
So many beautiful things. And boy, in a world that looks like ours, tonight is just so beautiful. A huge thank you to our teen leaders. A huge thank you to so many people who've made this happen, and to our staff and to Cantor Thomas, but to their teens tonight, just thank you so much. It is also a night in which we celebrate our legacy society. And as I'm giving thanks, a thanks to Lee Pesikoff, who is our current chair of our Creative Jewish Legacy Society work at Temple Bethel, but also to remember Marshall Lindner, may his memory be for a blessing, who really helped us to launch well, and Sarah Schreibman and her work at Temple Bethel, and of course, Rabbi Judy Schindler for their work in creating and sustaining the Creative Jewish Legacy Society at Temple Bethel. I would be remiss also if I didn't thank the Foundation for the Charlotte Jewish Community, whose leadership with Phil Warschauer and his staff and the team, the board chair of the FCJC, Fred Dumas, who's also not only Temple Bethel member, but a Legacy Society donor, they have helped our community in Charlotte through our endowments and to help create philanthropic planning. So thank you to everyone. And some of our teens and some of our legacy donor families, the Schreibens and the Zimmerns and the Katz family, they recorded a conversation between generations. And they asked, what would you want future generations to know about how you lived through the last year of the pandemic? And they asked questions about what are like the pandemic positives? What do you want to take away from this experience that added beauty and meaning to your life? What kind of resiliency have you had? How did you find community during this time? And they have reminded us that even in dark times of a pandemic, we could have emunah, we can have faith and commitment and show one another human beings to be people of emunah, to be people of faith that realistically dare to act and make our world a better place and live in ways to make our world better. And so we're going to take a moment now to watch the video of the generations of our community who had a conversation. You don't hear the questions so much, but you're hearing some of the answers to the questions that occurred between the generations.
So during the pandemic, I really learned that there's a lot that you really want to keep close to yourself.
The pandemic is something that we've never had before, so this was a first for everybody.
During Passover Seder, doing Zooming with our cousins in LA.
The pandemic really stripped away a lot of the material and superficial things that we thought we needed. And we learned real quick we don't need them. And the things that we do need, we need to cherish and hold on to and say I love you to those people.
Being retired for a number of years, we have had a lot of time to socialize. During the pandemic, we had to limit our socialization, and this was very difficult.
And we were forced to stretch and find new ways to make connections and to nurture our relationships.
We did socialize at times, but during those times, we adhered very strictly to the CDC guidelines.
I didn't get a lot of time to spend with my friends, and I had to really use it and spend it like with my brother and sister. I really got closer to them than I really ever had.
One of my best memories during this pandemic was my bat mitzvah. It was an amazing experience even through the pandemic.
We also spent a lot of time on the phone with our friends and with our families.
When you're immersed in a pandemic, it's hard to remember how much you appreciate people 24 hours a day. But I think walking away from the pandemic, that'll be one of the biggest lessons.
I want to thank Shayla and Becca for making the video. And if we're in person, I would invite our legacy donors to come to the Bima. And without the ability to do that, we take this moment to honor you this evening by sharing your names for the legacy that you continue to establish at Temple Bethel, so clearly evident in the hopes and the possibility and the creativity of our teen leaders who have developed this whole service. And so we share the names of our Legacy Society donors who help make Temple Bethel what it is, and also an appreciation from the teens who have made this evening so wonderful.
We are gifts and we are blessings. We are history in song. We are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. We are words and we are stories. We are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. L'tor vador nagid god lecha. L'tor vador, we protect this chain. From generation to generation, L'tor vador, these lips will praise your name. Looking back on the journey that we carry in our heart, from the shadow of the mountain to the waters that would part. We are blessed and we are holy. We are children of your way. And the words that bring us meaning, we will have the strength to say. L'tor vador nagid god lecha. L'tor vador, we protect this chain. From generation to generation, L'tor vador, these lips will praise your name.
This year has truly taught us about the notion of legacy, that our actions shape not only our lives, but the life and future of our community and our world. And to leave a legacy is to understand that our world and the story of our congregation is unfinished. Our world and our congregation is filled with promise, filled with need, suffused with the eternal presence of a God who sustains our acts of holiness. So may it be said of each of you on this night of celebration and thanks, Yehu Yadenu v'libenu le'el emunah. May our hands and our hearts be filled with emunah, faith, trust, daring, hope, and deed for what God's world and our lives and our congregation might yet be. We bless you with the threefold benediction that is at the very center of the Torah.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's radiance shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
And may God walk with all of us into the future of promise and light and possibility ahead that we can all see and feel. And may God grant all of us and all of our Legacy Society donors and all of our teens the most important blessing of all, the blessing of shalom, of peace, and shlemut, of wholeness. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may this be God's will. And let us all say, Amen.
We turn from this blessing, honoring those who are in front of us and around us this evening, to praying for that peace and hope to reach from us out into all of the world through the words of Aleinu, a prayer that takes all of the hope and promise and possibility that we've seen tonight and imagines it into the future, a future that will hopefully come soon.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'teit gidula liotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kiguya aratzot, velo zamanu k'mishpechot ha'adama, shelo zamhel kinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, va'anachnu korim, umishtahavim umodim, Lifnei melech, malkei hamlachim hakadosh, baruch hu.
O source of blessing, bless our community. May its children learn from us love of Torah, devotion in prayer, and support of the needy. O Heavenly One, bless the state of Israel. Shield her beneath your wings, and spread over her the shelter of peace. Guide her leaders, that she may be a beacon of justice to all. O God, our Creator, bless our world. Give us strength to repair that which is broken, to right that which is wrong. May we soon behold a world in which the word of your prophet is fulfilled. Adonai will reign forever and ever.
V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz bayom ha'hu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
We take a moment in every service to think of and to share the names aloud of those in our lives who have died at this time in years past. We say their names aloud at least once a year and in our hearts far more often. And in doing so, we bring all of the lessons they taught us, all of the memories we have of them, all of the legacies they have left into this world today. We are in the period of Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning for Herbert Foster, Max David Goldberg, Melba Junker, Milton Callis, Louise Krakowitz, Franklin Mandelbaum, Sharon Relkin, and Jim Waller. And we remember at their yahrzeit, Beston Jack Abrams, Doris Alpert, Ann Barr, R. George Burrell, Judy Biber, Sam Block, Tor Kim Borison, Bernice Brass, Sonia Burke, Lorenza Kagadas, Sydney Burt Chasky, Howard Cooper, Harriet Cohen Davidson, Sylvia Diamond, Sophie Dobbs, Dolores Dubbs, Miriam Furstein, Samuel Fleet, Morton M. Fox, Elsie Levi Frank, Howard Franklin, Joseph Friedlander, Mark Friedman, Anna Globerman, Louise Goldstein, Doris Gross, Walter Guthman, Howard H. Hyman, Pam Herron, Alan Jackson, Samuel James, Louis Katz, Craig Kirsch, Elizabeth Klein, Jacob Kreidel, Jack Lash, Gladys Lavitan, Louis Elliott Levine, George A. Levy, Frank Norman Lewith, Joseph Mann, Paul Margolis, Leona Markowitz, Bernard Melman, Clara Meiselman, Samuel Mendelson, Dave Miller, Stephen Mitchell, Shirley Perlman Mittler, Muriel Palenker, Ann Putterman, Raymond Redlick, Nettie Rosenthal, Marion M. Rothman, Joel Schwartz, Mildred Millie Seidler, Samuel Siegel, Sanford Simon, Eva Smilowitz, Jerome Smith, Fred Smolin, Paul Spiel, Lillian Sutker, Herman Urowski, Joseph Vogel, Bernard Weinberg, Benjamin Wernikoff, and George Winger. We also remember all those who died in the Shoah, the Holocaust, those American servicemen and women who gave their lives for our freedom, all those who have died defending the state of Israel,
and the many, many people in this country and all over the world who have died due to COVID-19. We continue with the words of Mourner's Kaddish.
Yikada vikada shmei rabah, ba'alma divrahu te, ve'amelich malchute, bechayechun uvyamechun uche dekol beit Israel, ba'agala uvizman kariv, vimru amen. Hey shmei rabah mevarach le'olam le'olmei almaya, yit barach v'ish tabach v'yit pa'ar v'yit roma v'yit naseh. Vit hadar, vit hale, vit halal, shemei de kudusha, borichu, le'ela min chol birchata veshirata, tushbechata venechamata, da amiran ba'alma vimru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, vimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mrav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, vimru amen.
Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imiru amen.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow. I want to say just a quick word about Colin, because part of the reason that Colin just led Mourner's Kaddish for all of us is because during his bar mitzvah a few weeks ago, he was prepared to lead Mourner's Kaddish for his family and friends and those of you who happened to be there that Saturday. And I just bowled right over him. And I just went straight into the Mourner's Kaddish, and he had prepared so well. And so now instead he got to lead Mourner's Kaddish tonight. But there's something that is, I think, maybe a little scarier about leading Mourner's Kaddish on a Friday night in a service like this. So for every single one of our teens for whom this is a really big thing to do, thank you so much. You led us absolutely beautifully, and we are so proud of you. Thank you also to all of our donors. This is the place you've helped create. This is the place you're helping sustain. It's a pretty great place, as it turns out. So thank you for that. I am supposed to give announcements, so I'm going to tell you a couple of things that are coming up. First of all, if you're not on my Facebook page, you may not have heard about this, but if you're on my Facebook page ever, you've definitely heard about it. There's a lot of challah being thrown around. If you're friends with Megan Harkeby, you also know this is happening. We are doing something as a community. We are calling it Challah Day as part of this month of March of really working on connecting in and reaching out to each other. So we thought that it would be a really wonderful, amazing thing, particularly in these weeks that are right around this year mark of the pandemic, to bake and deliver challah to each other. So on March 12th, which is next week, and on March 19th, the week after, we will be delivering challah to every single Temple Bethel congregant, either on the 12th or on the 19th, not on both weekends will you get challah. And we would love for you to participate. The idea really is to have everyone who can and wants to bake, and everyone who can and wants to deliver, and everyone who can and wants to get to eat some challah. So in the chat box, if there hasn't yet, for the event, so that you can find all the different links. There is a form to sign up to bake challah. There's a form to sign up to help deliver challah. And there's a form to sign up and let us know if you have any particular dietary needs that you want to make sure we know about so that we can still get you a challah that you can eat. Or if you're going to be out of town, and so we should not put a challah on your front door that you will perhaps never get. Take a moment and check it out. And in just under a month, we begin Passover. And there's a lot of really cool things happening around Passover. We are hosting our first parking lot Passover drive-through experience. We are very excited about that. That is on Sunday, the 21st. And we'll have Seder, and I feel like I keep freezing, so I don't know if you're actually getting any of these announcements. I'm sorry if you're not. But there's a lot coming out around Passover. It will be in the Gateway. And lastly, religious school, which has been happening all year and has been able to go in and out of being in person, is moving back to our hybrid piece. So we will be in person this Sunday with half of our students, and we're so excited to see kids in the building again. I think that's all the announcements. I don't know if you get, I don't know, I hope they got in to you. And we will conclude tonight with some words about community.
Yes, we definitely heard all of those. If you are a 10, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. If you are a 10, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Lai, 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 oh, Lai, 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 Lai. Each one of us must play a part, each one of us must heed the call, each one of us must seek the truth, each one of us is a part of it all, each one of us must remember the pain, each one of us must find the joy, each one of us, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha. Each one of us must start to hear, each one of us must sing the song, each one of us must do the work, each one of us must right the wrong, each one of us must build the home, each one of us must hold the hope, each one of us, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha. It's how we help, it's how we give, it's how we pray, it's how we heal, it's how we live, it's how we help, it's how we give, it's how we pray, it's how we heal, it's how we live. If you are a 10, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. If you are a 10, then we're Nitzavim. We stand here today and remember the dream. Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Kehila, Kedosha, Lai, 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 Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.